Greetings, ghosts and goblins and speakers of the dead. Captain Creature here, coming to you live from the Horrifying My Friends studio. Today is a little bit different because I don't have movies today. And no, I don't have the Curse of the Pharaohs. No Curse of the Pharaohs here. No Merciful Fate here, unfortunately. Today, Captain Creature has books. Some newer, some within the last couple years, so I hope that we're big readers like Captain Creature is, because I really, really love horror fiction. And a big thing happening in recent years is that growing up, I'm sure horror fans remember, Barnes & Noble used to have this thing called the horror section. Ooh. Now it has returned. And they got some surprisingly good shit, some surprisingly diverse stuff. Now, I won't lie and tell you that 60% of it isn't Stephen King, or Dean Koontz, but they do go a little bit deeper these days and carry some like Jeremy Robert Johnson. They carry like some James S. Murray, like the Don't Move. They had the Alma Katsu, I think is her name, who wrote The Hunger. They have Joe Hill, of course. They have Thomas Harris. They have the one that I went to even had a little Ruth Ware in their section, which I guess, who done it kind of thing. They had Victor LaValle. They had Paul Tremblay. There's this new era of horror authors that I'm really, really excited about. And I think demands some attention. So I'm at least happy that Barnes & Noble and Books A Million have, and I'm mainly talking about Barnes & Noble in this video, but I'm really, really happy that they've decided to bring back that horror section for all of us, because we remember growing up with the leisure books and all that stuff readily available to us. And a lot of those authors for a few years now have not been. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about some books. Some of these books are like horror thrillers and stuff. So if you dig thrillers, don't, leap away in fear because of what Captain Creature is bringing to the table here. Some of these are very thriller-esque and stuff. Now it's two authors. I have two authors, 4 books. So let's get into it. So the first one is the Chalk Man. Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. C.J. Tudor is I won't even say up-and-coming writer, because I've been seeing her name on a lot of stuff recently. So she's pretty damn well established, and she's carried in every Barnes & Noble now. This was I guess a big hit in 2019. I actually haven't read any of these, by the way. I just started Chalk Man, as you can see by my little marker. Yes, I am a little dog ear folder. Sorry if that made you turn off the video just now, but yes, I am a little dog ear person. So what is the Chalk Man about? Now, this one sounded like as you know, I like the 90s thrillers, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Captain Creature really gets down to that kind of shit. But this sounded kind of like in that kind of vein, like that spooky, somebody knows something about me from my past kind of stuff. So what is the Chalk Man about? In 1986, Eddie and his friends are on the verge of adolescence, spending their days biking in search of adventure. The Chalkmen are their secret code, stick figures they draw for one another as hidden messages. But one morning, the friends find a Chalkman leading them to the woods. They follow the message, only to find the dead body of a teenage girl. In 2016, Eddie is nursing a drinking problem, who isn't, and trying to forget his past, who isn't, until one day he gets a letter containing a Chalk Man, the same one he and his friends saw when they found the body. Soon he learns that all his old friends receive the same note. That's where I made the connection to I Know What You Did Last Summer. It sounds pretty killer. When one of them is killed, Eddie realizes that saving himself means figuring out what happened all those years ago. But digging into the past proves more dangerous than he could have known, because in this town, everyone has secrets. No one is innocent, and some will do anything to bury the truth. Chalkman. Now, I read that like a Grindhouse trailer guy. So yeah, that's the Chalkman by C.J. Tudor. The second one by C.J. Tudor, and this actually came out fairly recently, but I fell in love with the cover. Also in the horror section at Barnes & Noble, is called The Burning Girls by, again, C.J. Tudor. But take a look at that cover, just so you can see it. Pretty killer, pretty killer. All right, what is this one about? What is The Burning Girls about? A dark history lingers in Chapel Croft. 500 years ago, Protestant martyrs were betrayed and then burned. 30 years ago, 2 teenage girls disappeared without a trace. And a few years ago, the vicar of a local parish hanged himself. In the nave of the church, Reverend Jack Brooks, a single parent with a 14-year-old daughter and a heavy conscience, arrives in the village hoping for a fresh start. Instead, Jack finds a town rife with conspiracies and secrets, and is greeted with a strange welcome package, an exorcism kit, and a note that warns, but there is nothing covered up that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. The more Jack and his daughter Flo explore the town and get to know its strange denizens, the deeper they are drawn into an age-old rifts, mysteries, and suspicions. And when Flo begins to see specters of girls ablaze, it becomes apparent there are ghosts here that refuse to be laid to rest. Uncovering the truth can be deadly in a village with a bloody past, where everyone has something to hide and no one trusts an outsider. The Burning Girls. So yeah, like I said, this just came out, so obviously I haven't read it yet. I'm seeing a lot of positive stuff about this, though. So that's the second novel by C.J. Tudor today. Okay, so next author. This is a novel by Clay McLeod Chapman. Clay McLeod Chapman. It says inspired by true events, but we know how that goes. It's called The Remaking. This is by Quirk Books. Both of these next ones are by Quirk Books. Quirk Books are the ones that do like Grady Hendrix's books and stuff. They always design like really good looking books. Like they kind of look like old VHS titles or something. Like, I don't know, they just give me that vibe. In the 1930s, Ella Louise and her daughter Jessica are dragged from their home at the outskirts of Pilots Creek, Virginia. In the middle of the night, Ella Louise is accused of using her apothecary for witchcraft, and both are burned at the stake. Ella Louise's burial site is never found, but the little girl has the most famous grave in the South, a steel-reinforced coffin surrounded by a fence of interconnected white crosses. Some wonder if the mother was the witch. Why is Jessica's grave so tightly sealed? This question fuels a legend as their story is told around a campfire in the 1950s. So jump ahead 20 years, by a man forever marked by his boyhood encounters with Jessica. Decades later, a boy at that campfire will cast Amber Pendleton as Jessica in a 1970s horror movie inspired by the witch girl at Pilots Creek. Amber's experiences on the set and its meta remake in the 1990s will ripple through pop culture, ruining her life and career after she becomes the target of a witch hunt herself. Amber's best chance to break the cycle of horror comes when a true crime investigator tracks her down to interview her for his popular podcast. But will this final act of storytelling redeem her, or will it bring the story full circle, ready to be told again and again and again and again and again and again? But no, the remaking. We're actually doing a show coming up about remakes and stuff. So This is actually one of the first ones that I actually wanted to check out just because of that cover and stuff. Like I said, Quirk Books knows how to design the shit out of a book, man. They release some good shit, man. If you haven't checked out Quirk Books at Barnes & Noble, they usually keep a good amount of them in stock, like Grady Hendrix stuff, like I said before. Like I said earlier, Grady Hendrix, also one of those huge authors that I left off of the newer wave of authors. Adam Caesar I left off. Like I said, Grady Hendrix, I feel like I'm forgetting a big one. I'm looking at my bookshelf over there. It'll come to me. Anyway, so the last book, and I'm doing these because I know a lot of book lovers like the channel and like reading a lot of like thriller and horror and stuff like that. Like I know my brother's a big reader. I know Jess Shaw's a big reader. Kristen Hinton, Becky Hinton, I know always enjoys a good read. These are a little bit more horror tinged than maybe some of the stuff that you would rather regularly read. But as I pointed out, a lot of this stuff, a lot of this stuff has like a thriller vibe to it. So now this one is pretty hot right now. It's, not to go all Magatu, but it's called Whisper Down the Lane. And this is also out of Quirk. And it's also Clay McLeod Chapman. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I don't know. I never wear my fucking glasses for these. And even though I'm Captain Creature, I need fucking glasses. I'm to that point where I'm old. I'm still the creature, but I'm old and I need glasses. Okay, so Whisper Down the Lane. Look at that cover, bub. That's fucking metal, bub. Dun, 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 dun. This reminds me of like Heath and I and Hodge and, all my little friends at the playground. We weren't playing football. We were like sacrificing goats and shit like that, which I'm like, let's roll. It was the West Side. Leave me alone. I also love that they do like a design on the actual book itself. So that's kind of like engraved in there. Okay, so this one's got like a little bit of a confusing synopsis. So just follow along here. This is from the inside jacket. Okay, here we go. Richard doesn't have a past. For him, there is only the present. A new marriage to Tamara. That's his first mistake. A first chance at fatherhood to her son Elijah, and a quiet but pleasant life as an art teacher at Elijah's elementary school in Danvers, Virginia. Then the body of a rabbit, ritualistically murdered, appears on the school grounds with a birthday card for Richard tucked beneath it. Richard doesn't have a birthday, but Sean does. ... Sean is a 5-year-old boy who has just moved to Greenfield, Virginia with his mother. Like most mothers of the 1980s, she's worried about bills, childcare, and putting food on the table. That Reagan. And an encroaching threat to American life that can take the face of anyone. A politician, a friendly neighbor, or even a teacher. When Sean's school sends a letter to parents revealing that Sean's favorite teacher is under investigation, a white lie from Sean lights a fire that engulfs the entire nation, and Sean and his mother are left holding the match. Now, 30 years later, someone is here to remind Richard that they remember what Sean did. And though Sean doesn't exist anymore, someone needs to pay the price for his lies. So this actually, I was in the mood for this, strangely enough, because like I said, it's kind of making some waves, book Twitter and horror Twitter have been like recommending that one and stuff to me. But also with the little Nas X shit with the, listen, I'm always down for the devil. I'm always down for the devil. Fucking Knights in Satan's service, baby. I'm always down for the devil. And when I saw that he had the fucking devil shoes out and stuff, I'm like, I'm in. And then that song came out. So it seems like the satanic panic era of, I don't even know if it's the new millennium or not, but of this generation is among us, is upon us, I should say. People are like worried about Satan again and stuff. It's like straight out of the 80s, the 70s and 80s, when everybody was just terrified of Satan around every corner. And yeah, that just like, as soon as I saw like the little Nas X stuff in the news, I saw that this was a big book and stuff, on the book stands. I knew I had to check it out. Because like I said, I listened to like all kinds of fucked up metal and, Merciful Fate, King Diamond, all these guys, Black Sabbath. So Satan in our pop culture is nothing new, but it's always awesome. So, just take those words of advice. But anyway, so that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this not really unboxing, but like Travis went to Barnes and Noble video and came away with like, I don't know, like $60 worth of horror novels. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I will, Dawn of the Dead's coming up this week, and then we have Alien, and then we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with none other than Slasher Rob. So, but I'm really, really pumped for Dawn of the Dead. So be sure to check us out at Horrifying My Friends. That's with a hyphen after horror, and then fying with a Y, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you watch your podcast. So if you dig this channel, go check out the podcast. I always have a friend on and we talk about a horror movie. We have a lot of fun doing it with producer Kate, one of my best friends and my sister-in-law. So I have a lot of fun introducing her to movies and introducing my friends to all the weird shit that I love. So yeah, check out these books at your local bookstore. Try not to get them off Amazon. Try to go to the bookstore. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but support brick and mortar, man. I can't imagine a world without bookstores for me to go and browse and, fuck around in. But anyway, have a nice week, horror fiends.